Better than putting a dick rocket into space. Like I'm watching this on the boat. I'm like, are you serious? Like you just want the jokes, right? Like there had to be the engineers are like, let's make the rocket look like a dick. Like we're sending a dick up into space. Do you get it, Jeff? And Jeff's like, yeah, cowboy hat. Let's go. Like, oh, okay. Maybe he doesn't get it. Maybe he doesn't get it.
There's our cold open.
Everybody, this is Zeb Wells, and you're listening to The Usual Saints.
I don't think this is going to go very long, but we'll see.
That's what she said.
You're not even going to wait for those gems for the actual show to start?
You're recording. We're good.
All right. Welcome to season 3 of The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Sainte and Jeremy. G Money, what do we call you? I don't even remember anymore.
I think it's just Jeremy.
G Money, all right. Yeah.
We're sadly, R.I.P. to Vinny. He's on that great big school bus to the sky or something like that. I don't know.
So wait, could you please explain? Because the last I read, was he accepting the school bus job or was he not accepting the school bus job? I don't know.
So he wasn't. He wasn't, but he doesn't seem to be motivated to be with us. So I don't know if that says more about us or about him.
I don't. It wasn't that he wasn't accepting it. They weren't accepting him, right? He didn't meet the requirements or something.
I think he was scared because of COVID. He thought it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, he's going to get COVID, give COVID, or I don't understand about the scared of the COVID thing. I mean, COVID's still going, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it was him being like, I don't want to be. I mean, we got the messages. He was saying something to the effect of, I don't want to be around a bunch of snot-nosed brats or something. I hope that doesn't affect his job chances. But that's right. It's right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, something about
if they're going this deep, his job chances are screwed already.
Something about a physical that didn't get worked out. So you guys are kind of right there. And then it says, that and the idea of being trapped on a bus with 26 to 32 elementary, middle school Petri dishes bubbling with COVID has given him pause to think about working.
Okay, I'm not saying that that's not something you should think about, but when you're going to be a school bus driver, isn't that part of the gig? You know, from the get-go, COVID or no COVID, there's going to be 23 to 36 snot-nosed kids with all kinds of whatevers. That's part of the gig. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I love Vinny. If he decides to stay away, that's fine. We'll see if we can find another number 4. We'll do it with 3 for now. But wish him the best if he needs to stay away for his life choices. That's fine.
I thought you had us another co-host.
Oh man, I reached out to like this stand-up comic here in town that used to work with me in my current position. And he said, "Oh, I'd like to listen to some of the episodes before I agree to anything." And so.
Well, then it was a no. I understand.
Well, yeah. And it was like, nah.
So that's fine. He's funny when he does stand up. I just thought having another humorous person would be entertaining rather than just like some rando. You know what I mean?
Get a humorous person to start with.
I think I'm pretty funny, but I don't know. That's what people tell me to make me smile sometimes. Geez, let's see.
Got nothing for you.
Jeremy, how long have we been off? I think you were the last one I did a show with. It's been 2 months, right?
Yeah.
More than that? Yeah.
At least. If not a little longer.
Sainte's been gone for longer than that. I know we don't love to do the whole recap thing, but it's been a while, so I don't know. What do you guys been up to for the past few months? I know I started my master's program, which is very difficult, and apparently I may have to stay working with the state for 5 years or I have to reimburse them, which I'm not quite sure of. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be continuing the master's program after this semester.
That's quite a clause.
Yeah, I know. I didn't read I don't remember reading that part. So I'm going to have to get some clarification before I sign up for.
What are you going for?
Master's in IT, just because it was fully online and it was one of the state schools that would accept the tuition waiver, so I don't have to pay anything. All I had to buy this semester was one textbook. It's an online textbook, which is a new thing for me, not having been in school for 15 years.
Yeah, my wife's going through the same thing where she's like, I told you she's doing the medical coding, trying to get into that, and yeah, she hasn't been in school for about the same amount of years, so she's like, everything's online, everything's kind of like, ooh. So except I guess maybe the final book, she might have to buy one textbook that's actual physical copy, but has online compendium or it's companion to it. It's all, but everything's basically what school are you going to?
University of West Florida, Pensacola.
Okay.
Pensacola. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely weird. Like for one of my classes, it's a business class. And so for the test, I have to use this special browser that's called Lockdown. Can't have anything else open. And it makes me show a picture of my ID, makes me take a picture of myself and record my desk area before I can even take the test, basically to ensure no cheating, which I guess I understand. It's just a lot.
Right. There'd be an easier way to do it, but I guess that's one way to do it, to make sure there's no cheating being involved.
Yeah. There's no way your phone could be in your lap or anything. I mean, what the hell?
No, I mean, I get it, but they're also recording you the entire time. So, I mean, I think they're probably, looking at your eyes and whatnot. I don't know. I mean, the tests aren't that hard. They're like 25 questions. It doesn't take that long. I have an A in the class at the moment, even though it's business management, which I'm not totally thrilled on. It was one of the electives that I was allowed to take because I was missing the prerequisites. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I've been trying to get some interviews for the podcast. Like I said, I think we may have one lined up. Just have to get that set up. I reached out to Sarah Beth from Big Brother, which I want you guys to try to reach out to as well. Maybe if we do the hard push. I don't know, man. I just thought she was cool on the show and she's cute, whatever. But she also does cosplay. She did that before she was on Big Brother. And so since we've interviewed several cosplayers, I thought it would be a good get. But she's also being asked, I think, to be on everyone's podcast. Plus, she does her own Twitch thing. So listen, I get it. She's busy. It's understandable. So.
Doesn't need the exposure right now. She's all right.
No.
Give her
doesn't need the
a year and a half. Then she might,
be some random guy's podcast that she's never heard of. Yeah,
that's right.
Hey, listen, more exposure the better, I say, but that's just me. I don't know. Jeremy, let's go to you. You've just been doing the same old, nothing new in your life, I'm assuming.
Yeah, made it through another outage, so that was nice. You done with that? Not working so much.
You can actually let me know your schedule so we can maybe schedule some shows and interviews and things like that, or
yeah. We'll work on it. I got to figure it out myself.
Man of a lot of words.
That's right.
So wait, catch me up. Just to rewind a bit. Is this Sarah Beth? Is she on the Big Brother that has what do they call themselves? The squad or the
cookout?
Oh,
the cookout. Yeah. That season ended? Is that done with? Yeah. Is the cookout over?
That season ended. Yes. The proper person won.
Who won the cookout?
Xavier. He the final six, the cookout got to the final six, and then they cannibalized themselves in the proper way. They got rid of Tiffany quickly, which I enjoyed. Yes.
How the hell did she How the hell did she win most popular? What the fuck?
I don't know, man. Listen, was that America's Choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't.
How the hell?
I don't know, man.
Way.
I would have picked.
Not stand her.
I would have picked Derek X or Sarah Beth, obviously, because I have a crush on her. But
I'd pick Brittany before I picked Tiffany. What the hell?
I wasn't a fan of Brittany. And Sainte, I don't think watches Big Brother at all. So I don't know if he knows who we're talking about.
I haven't watched Big Brother since season 1. I was like, what is this? Oh, that's like kind of interesting. And then I've never watched a season of Survivor. A lot of these reality shows just miss me, which actually I used to watch a lot of the MTV, The Challenge. I used to be kind of big on that because I used to like it, but then MTV just plays reruns of Ridiculous now, so I don't even know if it's on MTV anymore, but I used to be into that. But yeah, a lot of the competition reality shows I just was never into.
I always liked The Mole, but that one didn't last more than 3 or 4 seasons. That was when reality TV first came out. That was one actually hosted by Anderson Cooper.
That was on ABC.
You know what? I do remember that. I do remember that one. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it, but I do remember the advertising for that, The Mole or whatever. Interesting.
Big Brother has changed. Big Brother's changed a lot since you watched it the first season. I still haven't even watched the entire first season because that literally aired every night for like 3 months. So that's 90 shows or something like that. Big Brother now is 3 times a week, an hour each show, sometimes 2. And then, it's over after 2.5 months, I guess, maybe something like that.
Something like that.
So it's a lot quicker. It's a lot more condensed. It's not as Big Brother season 1 is tough to get through. Like I said, I haven't been able to get through it.
But there's also like an after dark, or you can pay money to like spy in, or like they have the nighttime vision, night goggle cams that you can spy in on the people. So I remember there's a whole thing about, watching Big Brother and stuff. Like I said, I'm like, all right, I'm checked out. After season 1, I'm like, yep, nah.
They do have that, but they took away. I think from what I read on like Reddit in the Big Brother NSFW forum, they cut away a lot from like stuff that goes on because obviously people are hooking up in this house sometimes, and so that when that happens, they cut away rather than stay on it like they used to. They used to stay on it, and like people would like cap it and put it online and whatnot.
At one point, it was on Cinemax.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like Big Brother After Dark.
They just like let whatever was going on go on.
Yeah,
I guess. It's on their app now, I think. So
I think it's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, watching their content a little more.
That's who Sarah Beth is. She, like I said, in my opinion, the cutest one on the show. I did like Hannah too, but Sarah Beth, cutest one, I think.
She's from Florida too, right?
Yeah, Sarah Beth's over in Fort Myers.
Fort Myers, a forensic scientist.
I that may have been something I mentioned when I went to Fort Myers Beach a few weeks ago as well. I was like, hey, Sarah Beth, if you want to, let me help you or let me describe the podcast to you, whatever. But she never responded.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not creepy. I'm sure she's not
creepy at all.
Yeah, not creepy at all.
Listen, I can't help how I come across. I think I'm okay.
Actually, I think by the very definition, you can help how you come across, but it's okay. What we've been so. Jeremy, what else have you been catching up with?
Nothing. I just work. That's it. We had a nice time for Halloween. Had like 100 and something kids show up, so that was good. That's cool. Much better than our old neighborhood.
That's cool.
We had fun about it.
Did you give out full-size bars? You're a legend, is what I saw on Facebook.
We did, yes. We have a bunch left over.
He's that guy. He buys the full-size candy bars. He's got that money.
We had plenty of candy. We probably spent $100, but whatever.
And Sainte, I know you've been gone for a while, man. You happy to be off the boat?
Yes, very happy. It was kind of a long contract. Like I said, I could have left the boat probably around October 10th, but at the time we were thinking we're going to be super short, man. I got there, had to work in the factory for a couple of trips before I got to just do my normal job now, working on paperwork and being the purser, which is a lot easier on the body, just, but I've sit in front of a computer for more time than it was. Although during the summertime, it's pretty calm. At the end, then the guy I rotate with, he came back. And so, just to win some points with the captain and the mate, I stayed because at first we were going to be super shorthanded. But then they sent us like almost 8 or 9 guys at once, which we usually get. We've been begging for guys basically all year long. And at the end, there just seemed to be like a whole bunch of guys they got, new guys from other boats. And although I'd say maybe 3 or 4 of them were almost useless, one of them was completely. I mean, you ever meet somebody that's in their like mid 30s to 40s and their work, it's literally dealing with a child. Like, dude came late every single day, like would rush in, be like, how much time we got left? Say again?
You must be asking me because obviously I have. Mike's sitting here.
I'm feeling attacked.
Nah, but I mean, seriously, someone who you have to try to, late every day. Obviously we all work on a boat. So it's like we have to go get someone to wake him up every day. Or some days he come like, how much time I got left? We're like, dude, we have to be in the factory in 2 minutes. Like, what are you doing? And just would be spaced out, just more trouble than it's worth. But then, had the nerve to ask me, so you think I'm doing a good job? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about, dude? Like, are you kidding me? That happened, but luckily, got off the boat. Luckily, didn't get stuck with weather. We had a few days. I don't know if you saw my Instagram post of the ship, of the water coming over. Yeah, we had a couple of storms. We had one storm. We were getting like 50, 60 foot waves. Had to actually stop fishing because I mean, you're not going to catch anything. I mean, when the boat's rocking that much and you're going up and down, you're not gonna catch anything anyway. So yeah, one storm that probably could have made the deadliest catch. Spoiler alert, most days out there, they only show you the stormy days where it looks like super dangerous, but there are a lot of days out there where the water's just perfectly fine and whatever. But yeah, other than that, yep, glad to be home. Gonna be home for a while now because I'm actually rotating. So I probably won't be back until probably sometime in March, maybe late March. So
wow, yeah, all the way to March.
Yeah. That's probably actually, I think this is going to be the longest time I'm going to be home since I started working on the boat. I think it's going to be the longest full stretch where I just get to be home. So that's good. I mean, I may have to come January when the unemployment and all that stuff, I may just, I don't know, get like a part-time gig. So, I mean, I'm going to have money coming in, but it's going to be like halved. So I may just get a part-time gig, hopefully doing something in this podcast, DJ, video realm. That's what I'm trying to do. And help the wife. She, like I said, she's going to school to become a medical coder, which I had no idea till recently that your wife did, Mike. So small world, but
yeah, it's kind of nice. She's the moneymaker in the house. She her boss just told her that she needs to get another raise because she's not making the same as other people in her position in her company. So we'll see if that happens. That'd be nice. So. I
would love to get to that position, but wife be the money maker and you keep getting ready. Let me figure, what I'm doing. I would love that, but yeah, hopefully by next year we figure it out. I'm spending significantly less time or no time on the boat, so that's the goal.
And man, while you're home, you got to send out those apps. Get something that you want to do. I know you don't mind the fishing, but I think you'd rather be doing something else. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Should we take a quick break and then jump into some topics when we come back? Or
yep.
That sound good? That sound good to everyone? We've been gone for a while. We got to get back in the hang of things. I wanted to really develop a new format. Like I said, like with each person responsible for something. Maybe we'll get into that mid-season or something like that, around episode 15, 16, because 37 is the season.
Let's aim for like, I don't know, in a couple of more, like a couple of more episodes. Let's each have our own and then like make a short intro for it or something. I mean, I don't mind doing that, but have segments. We could be news or topics or something funnier, or maybe a segment which random D-list celebrity Mike's creeping out this week.
Oh, that's gonna be a long list.
Yeah.
Mike will have to have two because the other one has to be death. We'll get to that one in a minute, I'm sure.
Death.
Oh, death. That's actually a good one. Yeah, we'll do that. Definitely in like the D block or E block, like death. Who died this week?
Mike likes to get that up front. He doesn't want to he wants to make sure we don't forget that one. He likes talking about who died. It's kind of creepy.
I don't have a lot because I wasn't really planning on doing a show, so I don't have a lot of like deaths or anything like that. The only thing regarding death is the Tony Soprano news that came out. So, like I said, if we could tease that, we can come back.
I didn't see that. Yeah, let's tease that and then come back because I don't even know what that's about. So yeah, let's come back with that.
All right. So you've been listening to Usual Saints. So we'll be right back.
Hey gang, Mikey P here from the We Speak English Good podcast. Go check out my friends at the Usual Saints podcast. You won't regret it. Now let them hear it, Nature Boy.
Welcome back to the Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Jeremy and Sainte, and we were teasing the death thing because Jeremy says I always like to talk about death, which I do because I'm scared of it. I don't know what's the name of that phobia, but I'm sure there's a term for it. But so just was revealed today after David Chase, the creator of The Sopranos, had mentioned it a few years ago accidentally. But today he kind of just dropped it. He was like, listen, this is what happened. Let's just everyone stop talking about it kind of thing. So he said his whole thing was that, at the beginning of every Sopranos episode.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Wait, let's okay, Jeremy, let's catch up. Like first, let's see where we're at with our Sopranos knowledge. Jeremy, were you watching The Sopranos when it was on TV or not? Or
yeah, I was actually at Mike's house watching the finale with everyone.
Wow, which actually I was at my friend Jeremy. Coincidentally, I was at my friend Jeremy Vasilati's house when we watched the finale because he was a huge Soprano. Like he owns his own construction company in Palm Beach County. Vasilati Construction is doing big time work. And at the time I worked with him when it was It was a crew. It was just 4 guys. Now he has like 50 guys that work for him doing great. But he was not into any kind of shows, whatever, except Sopranos. And he'd be like, Saint, come over, watch Sopranos. Come on, man. Let's, that's what we'd watch Sopranos together. But so I was at my friend Jeremy's house watching Sopranos. So just a baseline, all 3 of us have a general. I haven't watched it. I started a rewatch, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago, and I didn't get through the whole series. But I went and rewatched the first season, which was kind of interesting because I forgot a lot of things. So I just wanted to what baseline level we're all at with our Sopranos knowledge. Okay. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I mean, listen, I think we all remember the scene. So Tony and I think Carmela, I don't know if they all arrive separately. Yeah, but they arrive separately.
I think daughter walks in last.
Yeah, Meadow walks in last.
Well, let me say, I'll say this also about the entire season. And I have no idea what you're going to say right now with David Chase. I have an idea, but the entire season, they were foreshadowing it because they talked about death so much. And there's even one scene when him and Bobby are on the lake and Bobby says, I bet you don't even see it. I bet you when it happens, it just fades to black. So the whole season he's been foreshadowing. And then you get to the last episode and it's just all about tension building. Meadows outside, he's trying to parallel park and can't do it. Every time somebody walks through the door, Tony looks up and he looks at the door and there's the bell ringing. And it's Tony gets there. I think Tony gets there with AJ, then Carmela gets there, then, Meadows outside. And it's just all the tension building. There's a guy with the members only jacket. There's the 2 black guys. There's a bunch of people coming in and out. And you're just supposed to be like, what the hell is going on? So that's the scene setting. So go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. So he finally came out. I think one of the reasons he hasn't said it was probably for the mystery factor, but also because I read in the article that he said there was like a lot of real shit going down in the world back then, like Iraq and everything. That was 2007, a few years in Iraq, a lot of real world shit. So he didn't feel like the need to address this. But he did mention that at the beginning of every episode, you see Tony driving from New York to New Jersey. That's the opening of the Sopranos episode every time. So this is his quote. He says, because the scene I had in my mind was not that scene, nor did I think of cutting to black. I had a scene in which Tony comes back from a meeting in New York in his car. And then he says the beginning of every show thing. Last scene could be him coming from Jersey back to New York for a meeting at which he was going to be killed. And that's the notion he had. And then he drove by a little restaurant in says Ocean Park Boulevard. And he thought, oh, that'd be a nice place. Tony should get killed in a place like that. So I think he always knew that Tony was going to die, which like you said, they foreshadowed it a lot in that season. But just for it to finally come out, because everyone's been kind of wondering what happened over these years. See the guy in the members only jacket walk in, everything's happening, the car thing outside with Meadow, like you said, and then fade to black. So I just thought it was nice to finally have closure. I don't know. I kind of wish he had never said anything, but that's fine. I know.
One of the things I always felt was kind of genius about it is leaving it ambiguous. It always lets people talk about it. And really what I have an idea why this is coming out because I haven't watched. It's on my list of things to watch. I'm probably going to wait till my wife till we knock out some other things, but we're going to watch The Many Saints of Newark. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm waiting, for us to watch it. But there's talk now about doing a Sopranos prequel for HBO, some kind of prequel, either with Tony or with Christopher's father. I know he's kind of like the main character in The Many Saints of Newark. So I'm guessing this is kind of like a precursor to get people kind of interested in the Sopranos universe again. But I thought for him, one of the most genius things is to end it like that, to kill off. If you pay attention, there is no way you can't think that Tony doesn't die. There's just too much foreshadowing. He even includes an orange tiger in the back, which the color orange is supposed to be in all mafia movies, including like The Godfather and stuff. The color orange is supposed to be the color of death. Like when you see orange, that's when Vito Corleone dies. There's something else with an orange cap. But then in that restaurant, and people have gone, actually, I was just listening to a podcast where someone went there to eat. It doesn't look like it looked in the final shot that David Chase had it, but he added that tiger in the background. So and again, the whole season is just nothing but foreshadowing about death, how you die, what happens when you die, all that things. So it's like to anybody who was astute, you have to figure that the members only guy comes out of the bathroom, shoots Tony in the back of the head, but he never sees it, just fades to black. That was the whole point of it. But it was genius for David Chase, one, not to show it, and two, not to explain it, because it keeps the mythology of it just keeps rolling. And I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe we're at a point right now where we're going to get some more Soprano stuff. So I think that's why he's kind of like letting the cat out of the bag, so to speak. Your thoughts?
Yeah,
publicity move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yep.
It is.
Exactly.
He came out recently again because, like you said, there's been talk about more Sopranos stories, but because it didn't perform well in the box office with the pandemic and everything like that, it made like $9 million total. But it did like apparently amazing on HBO Max. That's where I watched it, on HBO Max.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think HBO wants him to do another series.
Yes.
But he wants to do another movie. Like he sees another movie telling more, and without spoiling it, since you haven't seen it, more of the story after Many Saints. Leading between Many Saints and Sopranos, because I know what's his name, Michael Gandolfini,
yes.
James's son. He wants to play Tony until like throughout his 20s. He doesn't want to go too far because he doesn't want to try to imitate his dad at some point. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with that. But Jeremy, I mean, what do you think about David Chase revealing this after 14 years? And this was the year me and you went to broadcasting school. Remember I did that CSB Oranos little thing, that video I made, and I played Don't Stop Believing, and I put like clips of all of us, and then you had your drawing. Did you have a drawing? And I cut to black at the end.
I think I do believe. I do remember something about like that.
I played it at the graduation. Jeremy might not remember either. I don't know.
No, I think Saint something that's, get people talking about it, a little more interest, because otherwise, it's kind of like Carly Simon, saying who the You're So Vain. The only reason to do that is to drum up interest in something else.
Right. Exactly. I kind
of.
She has actually. She's auctioned off that information. Times to raise money for charity.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But also, what was it? There was also something I know, which might explain why he probably wants to do movies and not another show. I guess by the end of that show, David Chase and Gandolfini couldn't stand each other. Like there was like a lot of beef between them in the final 2 seasons, to the point where they were barely on speaking terms, which I didn't know about, which was kind of like weird. But it seems as if like David Chase always wanted to make movies, but TV was just the only place they gave him the opportunity to. And so after The Sopranos, he kind of like, I know he's made like a couple of things before. I think there was 2 movies he directed before he did Many Saints. But I think at this point, making a TV show probably sounds like too much work. So he'd much rather just go on and do a movie. But I think it's begging to be on HBO and HBO Max as opposed to feature film stuff, because it seems to me like it seems people who are really good at one tend to be not good at the other. Like people who are really good at TV tend to be really good at episodic stuff, and then people who are really good at making movies, and there's very little crossover. Sometimes you have like, maybe a Martin Scorsese might executive produce something like Boardwalk Empire, but they're not, directing every episode or writing every episode. And, I know a lot of people from TV try to jump to movies, and it seems like it's not always the easiest, conversion when you go back and forth. But I mean, whatever it is, I'm sure it'd get interest and people would watch it. But yeah, I'd much be more interested in like a HBO Max series than another movie.
At least with actors now, it doesn't seem to be that big a deal. It used to be, movie stars are up here and TV people are down on the bottom. But now, everybody's doing TV shows because you got Netflix and all these Apple TV and everybody throwing money around.
Right.
So now it doesn't really matter. I mean, you make money either way, and that's pretty much what they worry about. You get some big stars doing TV now.
With TV and, before when you had the 3 networks, but with Netflix and, I mean, just all the streaming services, a lot of them, they're just willing to do limited series where you might just have one or two seasons of something and you can bail out. You don't have to sign these 7-year contracts. Typically a TV series, I think they sign you for the first 3 years. And then if it's a hit, then they'll continue on. And that's when that's why a lot of times you see Netflix, they do 2 years and then they'll sign you on for maybe longer, but the commitment's just not there. So a lot of movie stars are like, well, hell, if I can, I'm thinking of, what was it? True Detective. You have Woody Harrelson and what was his name? Matthew McConaughey. They can sign on to do 1 season of something. And it's like, hey, you're going to pay us like we're just making a 10-hour movie. We get in, get out, and have no more commitment to it. An actor, that seems like a pretty good gig. Where before with networks, you'd have to sign on for a 3-year commitment. And then after that, if you want to keep making your real money doing TV, it's after season 4, 5, 6. And when it gets into syndication now, Netflix, they'll throw hundreds of millions of dollars at people just to come in and do a 6-episode, whatever. So Apple TV Plus and all that.
A lot of those shows, a lot of those networks, they want, hey, we don't want you to have something that's going to run for 12 years.
Right.
Have a beginning, a middle, and an end in mind before you even start, and we'll do it. Like Ted Lasso is only supposed to last 3 seasons. I think they had a plan to get out after 3, which is going to suck because that show is awesome.
I've watched season 1. I haven't got the season 2 yet, but I've heard it's still pretty good. And they just gave Sudeikis, and he went from making, what was it? Was he making $1 million? I think Sudeikis was making 250 an episode. Now he's making $1 million an episode, and I think all the other castmates and the writers, they got kind of like a double bump up where he got like a 4 times. He went from like 250 to $1 million an episode, and everyone else is making like double. But yeah, it's just the cost, but then you have shows, I don't know, like The Big Bang Theory, which another show. It's funny. I was talking about, it's like a show I've never seen a single episode of. Like I know Blossom or whatever, Mayim Bialik. I know she was on there. Like I seen her, and who's the blonde? She does the voice of Harley Quinn. Cool. Yeah, she does the voice of Harley Quinn, and she has the flight attendant. She has that show on HBO Max, which is actually pretty decent. But people were like, that show was on for like 13, 14 years. Like, really? Yeah. Like, I was like, okay. But
speaking of Sudeikis, he did SNL. He had some funny shit on there. That was a pretty good episode. The Devil at a Weekend Update. I'm
gonna have to go back and catch that when I can see it. But I've always liked Sudeikis. I've always thought he's pretty good.
He's good in Horrible Bosses. I love that film. And let's see. Stay on movies. Did you guys, I mean, obviously it's part of our namesake, so I guess we should mention it. Boondock Saints 3 got greenlit with the original director and the 2 original main stars, Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus. So they all worked together on it. Apparently have it after disagreeing about trying to get to it for years, but it seems like it's finally going to see the light of day. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Any thoughts on that, Jeremy? Were you ever? I know Saint knows Boondock Saints. Jeremy,
never watched them. No.
Oh, killing me, Smalls.
The namesake of our podcast.
I've seen.
They should call it Boondocks 3, doing it for the money. that should be it. Because Boondocks 2 was not very good.
No.
At all.
I don't even remember it. That's how, I mean, and listen, I'm not going to say I'm going to remember every film, but like, I at least know, I remember the majority of part 1, I think. And so 2, I'm like, All Saints Day. Do I remember it at all? No. Apparently it ends with them in jail. Okay. Don't remember that. So, but I mean, they're not going to be it's not going through like a major studio thing. They have like some two people. It looks like a couple that's financing it. So, more power to them, and hopefully it's good. I mean, I'm sure I'll catch it. If it's a passion project, great. The quality needs to be there. That's what it's all about. There's too much shit to watch nowadays for stuff not to be quality. It doesn't matter if it's nostalgia and it's like, oh, part 3, yay, make another sequel. If it sucks, it sucks. That's all you can say about that. So
if it sucks, it sucks. Yeah.
I'm hoping for the best. I'm anticipating the worst. That's what I'll say about that. But Jeremy's never seen it, so that's fine. I can't get his opinion on that. What about Alec Baldwin killing the director of photography on Rust? I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Jeremy, you want to go ahead? Or?
Just the prop lady saying, it's not my fault. There shouldn't have been live ammo on set. I don't know why there was. Somebody, said, hey, the gun's empty. Multiple people said, hey, the gun's empty before they handed it to them. So, I mean, somebody... Well, a lot of people fucked up their job. Why there should not have been live ammo anywhere near any guns that are going to be used as props ever. It's just bad gun ownership, more or less. I don't know how else to describe that.
No, absolutely. As much as however you feel about Alec Baldwin, this is completely on the prop masters and anyone who works in that prop department. According to reports, they said, it's a cold gun. So obviously you can't put that on any of the actors because, an actor, director, anybody that works on set, it's not their responsibility to know about the firearms and stuff. You basically hand an actor, said, hey, this is cold. And the only reason you do that is because they might assume that not even live ammo, that there's just blanks in there. When you tell someone it's a cold gun, that means there's not even blanks, which again, live ammo should never, ever be on the set. Why would there ever be a need for live ammo on any kind of production? And when you hand someone a cold gun, basically you're telling them that there's not even blanks inside this gun, which, a blank, even if it has half the gunpowder, because usually a blank can have half, a quarter, or an eighth gunpowder, depending how loud you want the bang to go. But if you tell someone's cold, that means there's no ammo in this at all. And apparently, from multiple people said, yeah, it's a cold gun. And then there were some reports that when they weren't using them on set, they were using these weapons during the downtime to go shoot with, which is just another break of procedure. The last thing about it is these weren't union people. This wasn't a union prop master. I think that's probably the problem there. I think this is going to get to the point where Hollywood, they're just not going to have any gun they have on there are going to have to require to take out the firing pins to be completely inoperable. And they'll just have to make, because of this, it's probably just everything they have to do is going to be in post. Like there's never going to be any, not even blanks on set. I think for John Wick, I think they don't need, because there are so many guns with so much stuff going on. John Wick, I think they do everything in post. And I think that's how most Hollywood productions have to go to now for safety. Just a tragedy, involving what looks like to be just complete. I just can't even imagine how someone who's going to be a prop master could even put any kind of gun on set that they've used the day before for live ammo shooting. Like that's just complete unprofessionalism. And yeah, I think the prop master and that whole prop team should probably go to jail if that was the case, because it literally cost someone their life when they're not following proper procedures.
Right.
Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and I just read something today where Dwayne Johnson said that any movie or TV show that he does with his production company, I think it's 7 Bricks or 7 Blocks or something like that.
$7.
$7. Okay.
$7.
Okay. So he said any show or anything he produces will not have any real guns or, on set. So, it's acting. I get why realism helps. But at the same time, I mean, even with knives and stuff, I mean, I figure they do stuff with them, whether they're dull or fake or whatnot. It's like real gun. Why? I mean, that just seems like the worst.
I understand the real gun from the point of you want to see the gun, the action of the gun. When you pull the trigger, you want to see the slide move. You want to see the shell be ejected. You want that realism, which you can get from a blank, but you got to be responsible with it. I mean, I saw some people blaming Alec Baldwin. Well, even if he thinks it's a cold gun, he shouldn't be pointing it directly at someone. Well, I mean, he's pointing it pretty much at the camera. I don't know what else to tell you. That I don't blame him for. But
right, they're practicing a shot. It's not like he was doing this with intent. And yeah, I mean, proper gun safety. I mean, there is something to be said with proper gun safety. You should always assume that a gun has, if you're doing proper gun maintenance, but you're filming a movie, it's pretend, so, and someone said it's cold. So obviously somewhere in the pipeline, someone was letting it be known, and Alec Baldwin got his head that this is a cold gun. There's no ammo. There's not even blanks inside of this. And it turns out there was live ammo in this. I don't see any way how you can blame an actor for it. But yeah, I think going with what you said with The Rock and everything, I think that's how all Hollywood productions are going to have to go. They're just going to have to figure a way. And if they're going to use actual guns, they just have to take out all the firing pins and not load them with any ammo and just do all the effects in post. I mean, it's just for the safety of everyone now.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's the most famous example. I mean, but I just go back to Brandon Lee on the set of The Crow. And so, I mean, and I know
that got him, right?
It was a blank, but they had like a dummy bullet that was still in the same whatever, I think. And so when the blank went off, it ejected it with enough force to penetrate. So, I mean, I know there have been other instances too. and I know this isn't a funny subject, but I felt like we had to touch on it because we kind of do pop culture entertainment. I don't blame Alec Baldwin at all. I feel horrible for the guy because he basically killed someone.
Into the conversation.
Yes, I did. But I mean, like Sainte said, I mean, or maybe it was Jeremy. I'm sorry. He's practicing pointing the gun at the camera. That's the shot. And so like, you can't blame the guy for that. If anyone else goes to jail, someone probably does deserve to. We'll see how the investigation turns out. Right now they're being tight-lipped about everything, but you have lawyers coming out from like the armorers lawyers saying whatever they're saying, and then you got the 80s lawyers saying whatever they're saying. So I don't know how that movie.
I saw the prop master. The one woman said, there shouldn't have been any live ammo on the set. I didn't have any live ammo on the set, so I don't know why it was there if it was. Well,
yeah, right. But then there was the thing saying that
access to your gun.
They were saying something how they would use these guns when they weren't shooting, when they're off days, they would use these guns in real life target practice. Like, how are you mixing and matching guns? They're supposed to be that sounds like a recipe for a bad accident to happen. Well, that's super negligent.
Where I work, I go through security every day. Most of the guys I work with have guns, shoot guns, and we've had people be fired because they forget their gun is in their bag when they come in, or bullets in their bag when they come in. It's like, all right, here's the rule. When you go shooting, you use a different bag. A gun never goes in that bag.
Yes, exactly.
Going through, the gun never touches that bag. That way, you
exactly. It's like
bullet being left in. But that's the same thing. Don't fucking real bullets in a gun that's going to be used for a cold shot. What the hell?
Exactly.
We'll see. I mean, I don't see how that movie ever gets finished. Not that should be anyone's priority at this point. I feel like
the director was injured as well, right?
Yeah, but just in the shoulder. I mean, I don't want to say just in the shoulder, but it was I think it was just the one projectile. It went through the director of photography and hit the director in the shoulder because he was standing behind her. So, I mean, it's just a sad situation all around. But
I got a question for you, Mike. Mm-hmm. Have you had any Chad moments lately? Been a while. I'm sure you've had quite a few.
I mean, I'm sure I've had a few.
See about our Chad moments. Did you know Mike is the probably the largest male Karen I've ever met? I'm going to call him Chad.
I think I did. I think I'm trying to think that I think I've had a couple of people, but man, and I know the whole thing with the we're having supply issues and. It's going to be a tough holiday season. Order your Christmas gifts early because, our supply chain and issues with the post office and deliveries and stuff. But UPS just messed up. I was supposed to get these new the new Beats Fit Pros or whatever. The new Beats are coming out, the wireless in your ears. And Apple has fucked that up. And they're sending it to my old address in the state of Washington. So I'm like, they're supposed to get here tomorrow. And I just like, you guys have the wrong address on this. I'm like, oh, we're sorry. Like the just getting on the phone and talking to customer service, but I try not to chat out too much,
So, Mike, have you talked to the manager lately?
I'm sure I have. I have a problem. I have a problem with some toilet cleaners. It's a company called Shine. They're not really beta. Like they put out. I ordered this product last December. I've been waiting almost a year for this product to come. They advertise how great these toilet cleaners are. They finally arrived. I don't know, last week. I install one, get it set up properly. I go to install the second one and with the app and it reinstalls the first one. And so like, I can't install two on the same thing. I've tried emailing customer service. They don't get back to me for days. I've called customer service as instructed. They tell me, oh, wait for a representative, but then they have me leave a voicemail and they don't call me back for days. And so at this point, I'm just like at the point where, I mean, it was like $230, but I'm like, why waste my money? The customer service is atrocious. And so like, I'm like, I want a refund. So now I'm waiting to hear back about this refund.
What kind of fucking toilet cleaner needs an app?
It's called Shine. Like I said, they electrolyze the water and then it sprays after every flush. And it's like, I don't know, whatever. It's not,
This is such a Mike story where he's about to call the board of directors on some fancy dad toilet cleaner. Like, what the bleep? This is such a great Mike story. Yeah. So I'm speaking to the board of directors. Like, look, there's still shit in this toilet bowl. I got the app. I'm at 50% shit when I'm supposed to be at less than 10% shit in my toilet bowl. It says right here in the app. Board of directors, take it all the way to the top, Mike.
I mean, that's basically where I'm at, you know. So I'm even in a special Facebook group called Shine Insiders that you can only join if you basically promise not to denigrate the company and things like that. So I haven't, but you know, I'm biding my time for my refunds. So
wow.
That's where I'm at with that. That's my most recent one. I'm sure I've had many others. You know, I do go out to eat and things like that, you know, and things happen, but most of my experiences are pleasant in the places I keep frequenting. You know, I've been going to trivia a lot more nowadays. So, you know, Walking Tree Brewery here in Vero is getting my business. I just left Kilted Mermaid tonight. You know, they're all nice and cool. So we won one round. The people I play with, and Sophie went. The people I play with aren't especially great at trivia, but so if it's pop culture tonight, not really. I ran a Ghostbusters round a few weeks ago, which made me pretty happy. And then at Walking Tree, they do like 10 or 15 question rounds, and so like if it's you know, anything related to movies, I'm pretty good at it. One time I think I just started trivia after I started with you guys. It was guess the number of victims in Scream for a tiebreaker question. And I guessed it, just guessing, and I was right on the money. So that was kind of cool. We had a second tiebreaker. So, you know me, I just like to find ways to test my pop culture trivia movie knowledge. And so this gives me something to do during the week.
No doubt.
That's me. All right, let's take another quick break and we'll come back and finish up with some sports and anything else we want to talk about. So you've been listening to Usual Saints. We'll be right back.
This is Michaela Lee, and you are listening to The Usual Saints. Because you're cool, and you should know that. Hype!
Okay, I'll restart. I was like, Mike, you must be pretty doing good for a $230 app-infused toilet bowl cleaner. Like, I'm like, all right, man.
I'm not doing well. My wife is doing pretty yeah, no, not me.
Allowance.
Yeah, listen. Well, I take care of the finances. Thank you. But no, like I just like, who wants to clean their toilet bowl? So like you see this product, it seems like very innovative. It seems very promising, but the customer service is just not there. And that should be a basic thing. Oh, and welcome back to the Usual Saints. We're just continuing the discussion about the Chad and shit and everything. It just should be a very basic thing. So I don't know. That was my thoughts. I hate when I can't reach people, or like, and I know we've talked about this before, and I think it probably makes me sound like a xenophobe or a racist, but like, I hate when I call a company and I get someone in a call center in a different country that is just reading a script and I can't communicate my problem effectively. And that sucks. That makes me sound horrible, but I'm just trying to get a problem resolved. And I wish I could resolve it with someone who understood clearly what I was trying to convey. That's my biggest issue with those kind of things. And again, it makes me sound horrible, and I'm sorry. I'm not. I think I'm a pretty nice guy, but like the outsourcing in this.
I consider myself the most progressive liberal, and that kind of pisses me off too, because I understand it. But I look at it differently. I look at it as mostly American companies just trying to save money. It's like, why don't you just have call centers here? I'm pretty sure, but you know, it's just cheaper to outsource it to, you know, live in the global economy. But you know, if the basis of me talking to someone is communication, understanding, and the person, if English is their second language, and there has to be, you know, a floor to where the understanding and communication is occurring. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
My favorite part is that their names are always John or Becky or
right,
or Lee or Catherine. I'm like, there is no way your name. No, that's not your name.
Right.
It's not. It's really not.
I hate when I have to add, you know, as soon as I get someone who I don't want to say is obviously not from the country, because listen, there are people who live here and have accents. So I give them the benefit of the doubt for a minute until I can tell they're reading the script and just parroting back what I just said to them. I give them the benefit of the doubt, but then it said, can I speak with a U.S. agent? It always seems to be such a chore for them to get someone who's actually in the U.S. for me. So it's just annoying, but that's the whole Chad thing.
It's probably a metric for them, helping customers versus having to escalate. Yeah. You're probably costing them their bonus.
Oh, I can say something horrible, right? Like, I'm not going to say like how many rupees or rupees. I'm sorry.
Well, See, Mike, take it a little too far. There you go. Take it a little bit too far.
Well, let's be fair. I feel like
He sounds horrible, but he's not really horrible. That's what he was saying earlier, right?
Yeah.
I feel like most of the call centers probably are in India. They have the highest population outside of China, right? And they speak more English than China, so that only makes sense. I just wish people over there could almost unionize, but I mean, hell, we can't do it properly in America, like to get them a fair wage, because they're probably getting paid like $1 an hour just to be able to earn a living for their family, whatever the companies are willing to pay them. And that's just, I get, because I'm literally in the business management class right now. I understand that, but I don't agree with it. I feel like if I owned a company, I would want to pay people fair wages no matter what. That's just me. I like that guy out in Washington a few years ago. He owned like some credit card company, and he read somewhere that if he paid all of his employees like $70,000 a year, that's the maximum level for happiness. And so he took a huge pay cut and they gave everyone $70,000, and they were so happy, and no one's left, and he's hired more people, and they've grown that they wound up buying him like a Tesla as like a thank you gift or something like that. And he would, so it just goes to show that it can work.
So I saw an article today. Do you guys know who Salt Bay is?
Is that guy with the meat?
Yeah, he like drops.
He does I'm making love to different cuts of steak and slaps it.
I have a coworker who went to his restaurant in Miami and got a gold-plated tomahawk steak that was like $800 just for him. And his kid got like a gold leaf burger that was like $400. So
that's how much Jeremy makes, just so you're aware. You can pay for an $800.
This is my boss, but this guy, he spent like $1,500 on a meal for him and his like 12-year-old son. Mm-hmm. This guy had an advertisement for a chef in his London restaurant for $16 an hour. He's charging $1,000 for some of these meals, and he wants to pay the chef $16 an hour. It's like, damn, what the hell?
It's it's capitalism running. I mean, here's the thing. Take a bigger company like a Costco. Like Costco is notoriously known for paying their employees far above minimum wage. Average Costco employee makes 20-something bucks an hour. After you work there a while, you get benefits, and their overall satisfaction is usually a lot happier and the people who own Costco, they're like, nope, this is what we do. We pay people a little bit more. We're not trying to, be the Waltons or whatever, and become billionaires. And they tend to have happier employees, and people always have good things to say about it. And I just don't understand, again, maybe to each their own. If you're smart enough to make the money, go and make it. But you figure half these big CEOs, the Bezoses, the Elon Musk, the whoever, they like, what could you afford with 200 billion that 100 billion or 10 billion or 1 billion couldn't afford you? It's like, I understand that, it gets into this, stock options or whatever, but you figure if you pump that back into your company, especially into your workers, you'd have employees who'd take less time, appreciate their job, would want to strive and do the best they could because they feel they're working they have a great job for a great company. I just don't get it. Every other day you're reading stuff about how Amazon employees talk about how terrible it is to work at the warehouses and stuff. It's like if Bezos is just like, you know what, everyone gets $1,000 bonus just for nothing. And you just did that all the time. You get no complaints. People would just shut up and be like, it's great working at Amazon, but I just don't get it. Like you said, that guy in Seattle, I remember I used to live up there, and that was a big story when he did it. And he found that people would come into work and work harder. And because they're like, nah, I'm not giving up this job. This job's great. They appreciated it so much more, but I don't know. Like I said, capitalism run amok. Eventually, I think we're all headed for, so many people can't have 40 people owning like a third. We're going to get to a point where it's going to be 40 people own a third of the wealth in this country. It's going to be ridiculous, but we'll see, I guess.
Did you see Elon Musk when I think it was the UN or someone for World Hunger tweeted out that if he gave up like $6 billion of his wealth or something like that, that they could solve world hunger and and poverty or something like that? And he said, if you can show me those numbers, I'll do it. But like, I mean, I get that he's earned the money. It's his company, but like, if that's even remotely true, and I get he wouldn't want to be the one to just throw $6 billion at someone, but why not? I mean, you got 300 billion or whatever he's got now based off that company, that contract he signed with Hertz or whatever he signed with. Like, bro, like if you could do something like that, you'd probably go down in history for something beyond what you are right now. Who cares? 6 billion when you have 300? I get it. It's but at the same time, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not there. But I like to think I would be more. I would give money to where I thought it needs to be, like kind of what Jeff Bezos' ex-wife has done. She's given away most of the money she got from that divorce just to various causes to try to help people. I feel like that's what we need, more people helping people. But I don't know.
I seriously think once you hit 1 billion, like you can literally sit around and be like, there is literally nothing I can buy, nothing I can. I guess in a way you have to look at, if you just lived off the interest, it was like, if I cut this in half and have some bank give me 5% a year on $500 million, like I'd have 500 that I wouldn't even have to touch, and I could sit here. And that's what actually Bezos does. You realize Bezos and Elon Musk, they don't actually spend their money. He actually takes a loan. Like he'll go to like JP Morgan or Chase Bank, and he'll ask them to loan him 100 or $200 million. He spends that money, and then he's paying back these high interest loans, and he's just using his other money as collateral. So he never actually spends his real money. He's just paying back loans so he can just live whatever lifestyle he wants. It's just how the rich move. It's crazy to think about when you're talking about those numbers. And it's like, yeah, I would be giving away like my money all the time and just put my name on this. Every kid in America gets free lunch for, the next 10 years. Fuck it. It's called the Carl Sainte lunch program.
That'd be awesome.
Better than putting a dick rocket into space. Like I'm watching this on the boat. I'm like, are you serious? Like you just want the jokes, right? Like there had to be the engineers are like, let's make the rocket look like a dick. Like we're sending a dick up into space. Do you get it, Jeff? And Jeff's like, yeah, cowboy hat. Let's go. Like, oh, okay. Maybe he doesn't get it. Maybe he doesn't get it.
There's our cold open. All right. Speaking of billionaires with more money than they could speak of, let's talk about the NFL. I know we all have our own teams. How's everyone feeling about the season? We are
great.
9?
As a Dolphin fan, awesome.
Really?
Yeah, because it proved. Well, listen. And people on the boat, they say this because we used to have like a football. Actually, I was in charge of making the pool every day because I became the person. I'm in charge of paperwork. So I had to do the football pool every week until my replacement came at the last 2 trips, right? But people always ask me, oh, how are you? I picked against the Dolphins every week. And I was right every week except for one. You know what I mean? So, and they're like, why are you against the team? I'm like, our ownership is bad. We have a bad owner who doesn't know what he's doing. So he hires a coach and a general manager. Although Brian Flores, I'm not going to say he's a bad coach, but I kind of feel like if you can't see that you're not getting the kind of guys you need to get here for the kind of system you want to run, that maybe, I understand there's only 30 head coaching jobs or, whatever they're in the world. And if you can get one, you should just get one. But our general manager, he sucks. Our owner, he's been fiending after what's his name down in Houston, Texas. What's the quarterback?
Watson.
Deshaun Watson. It's like, really? And then finally this last week he had to come out and say, well, he was looking into it, but there were some assurances he had that like, what are you talking about? Like this man might not play at all. He might be in jail. And you're literally considering him your escape hatch for a quarterback that may be in jail. I thought Tua was a horrible pick, not because I think Tua is bad. I think he's serviceable, but Tua is an Alabama quarterback, which anybody that plays for Alabama, you have to realize you're surrounded by 5-star NFL talent at all positions. So is the quarterback good, or he's just surrounded by the best linemen, the best wide receivers? Derrick Henry before he got hurt, is an absolute monster. So any Alabama quarterback you get, you have no idea whether they're a good quarterback or do they just have the best talent around them. Mac Jones seems to be doing okay for New England, but I think they took him in the 3rd round. We literally drafted Tua 4 or 5, and then we got Jason Waddle, who was one of his receivers. We drafted him high too. And it's like, yeah, but we don't have the Alabama linemen. We don't have the reason Alabama looks so good. They outspend everybody. Literally, they have more coaches, assistant coaches, trainers. They're just a machine down there. And that's why it all works. But just taking one of their players, I mean, you can take like a skill player and maybe on defense is better that way, but definitely not quarterback. And if I can see that, I work on a fishing boat. This is supposed to be your job and you're bad at talent evaluation. What does that tell me? Like, why should I be rooting for them? So I root for them to go 0 this year, 0-17. That 17 game is going to screw me up. I'm so used to be like, say, Dolphins going to be 8-8 or whatever. But so this year, 17 games. I hope they go 1-16. Like, fail and get more. Yeah, just keep to realize that you're doing this wrong. As much as I want to bag on the Pittsburgh Steelers, because apparently they have no plan for a backup quarterback, as Ben Roethlisberger is going to become, I don't know, literally fall apart he literally tripped over nothing one week. I was watching this. I mean, he's been good the last couple of weeks, and I'm a big Mike Tomlin fan, but I'm like, Pittsburgh, Ben's not going to be able to do this forever, ever, right? I mean, Brady is the one exception, but Ben has not been looking great these last few years. These last few games, I should say, they've kind of like shortened up the passing and, more quick passes, get the ball out of his hands. They'll have him sitting back there, but I'm not sure what Pittsburgh's doing. And again, what do I know? I thought the Chiefs were going to be dominant. They've looked kind of like dog shit the past few weeks. So, but yeah, that's the NFL for me. The NBA season couldn't come here fed. The Heat are doing good. I mean, we lost the game tonight, but the Heat look great. So that's my NFL season. Like, how are the Miami Heat doing? When you ask me about the NFL.
Well, the Dolphins, I mean, to be fair, I don't follow them too much, but they had Tannehill forever. Then he goes to the Titans and he, lights it up and he goes to the championship game. I mean,
no. Come on, that's smoke and mirror. See, again, you're one of those people who are going to convince me that Tannehill is good. He is not. He has a monster, literally. Derrick Henry, okay, this is going to be an excellent point. We're going to see how well Tannehill does in these next games without Derrick. Derrick Henry is 6'3", 240 pounds, and has clocked the fastest time with the ball in his hands in the NFL. I think it was like 22.6 miles per hour. How fast he is. It's unfair how good that dude is. And you have that beast of a running back. Yeah, being the quarterback becomes a lot easier. We're going to see how good Tannehill is when Adrian Peterson's back there trying to, old ass Adrian Peterson. The Tannehill, he's going to reveal who he really is. Trust me.
AP, man. AP. A few years ago, he was the guy, man. But that's how the NFL works, man.
I bet you Ray Rice is available.
What about Najee, man? What do you guys think about what Najee's doing? He's doing all right. He's not blowing up too much stuff, but he's doing pretty good. He's an Alabama guy too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, now he's a good runner. I mean, some of the Alabama running backs are good, although sometimes you can see that some of their success is built because they have the best offensive line in football almost every year. So it's hard to evaluate them. It's just Derrick Henry is just an absolute monster. And typically their wide receivers tend to be really good too, but there's no way in the first round I'm taking an Alabama quarterback. Or actually, I wouldn't take – I'd take their wide receivers late, but I wouldn't take them in the high because it's like if you have 3 5-star guys and usually a 5-star running back, the best around college football, you cannot properly evaluate these players because they're surrounded by the best talent. And I don't know, for – my money, Aaron Rodgers just caught COVID. I was about to say the Packers, but there's always something. It's like, geez, I guess, I hate to say it, I guess you got to go with Tampa.
No, never.
No.
Yes.
No. Fuck Tampa Bay.
Tampa can't keep a secondary healthy. If they can't get some guys, I mean, they might be calling you to, start at cornerback this week, Sainte. I mean, they can't get anybody out there.
Yeah, injuries. And that's
all their starting cornerbacks or their starting secondary is gone from the first game of the year already.
And that's the thing, when a team, I said this, I don't think a team's going to ever repeat, especially now with the 17th game. I don't see how a team repeats for the Super Bowl because it's just too much of a grind. By the time you get to the Super Bowl healthy, the next year, you're probably not going to be as healthy or as fit or prime to make another run at it, no matter if you have Brady or not. So I think the wear on it, I think that's kind of what's happened to Kansas City. Because think about it, Kansas City's gone to AFC Championship, Super Bowl. So you add up all those extra games, all that extra time you had to get in there. I think we're just seeing the attrition this year. I think you're going to see a little bit of the attrition in Tampa Bay also, but maybe the Rams look like the Rams are trying to go all in, win it this year with Matt Stafford. Be interesting to see.
I think Steelers Rams Super Bowl.
Bills aren't bad.
I don't think the Steelers. You have no. You're going to meet the best defenses in the playoffs, and if your quarterback can't throw past 15 yards, Ben Roethlisberger, you're done. You're done. No, there's no way. I think the Bills in the AFC, you got to look. And again, I've been on the boat, so I actually haven't been able to see a lot of games, but it has to be the Bills and who else in the AFC?
I mean, Titans are the 1 seed right now.
Really? They're above the Bills? Huh.
I think they've won one more game than them.
Yeah, I think so. No, I think they beat the Bills head to head, right? So that would and then New Orleans just lost Jameis. So yeah, I was gonna say probably the Packers, the Bucks, the Bills. Who else in the AFC? I mean, the Chiefs maybe, like if they can get, because there's just so much talent there, but their defense is so bad.
The Chiefs are 4-4. I mean, the AFC North's all tight. Everyone is at 500 or better. Anyone else? You got the Titans who just won tonight. The Bills. And
no, you mean who won tonight? It was the Colts, right?
Not the Titans.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're 6. Sorry, the 6-2 threw me off. Okay, so and the Raiders, but I don't know what they're going to be able to do with Derek Carr, and then they lost that guy who just killed that woman. So
yeah, that was just oh man, damn man, just throwing away your life, man. And there could be something where you could say, hey man, made a mistake because there's tons of people who have DUIs and drive drunk, but he's supposed to be going 156 miles per hour. 156, bro. That's when you can just tell the whole mood where everyone's like, yeah, nobody's defending this anymore. 156. And supposedly I think he hit her at 120 something or whatever. So man, what a waste, man. Just a waste.
Was that what position did he play? What's his name? Henry Rodgers? Is he a wide receiver? What is he?
Yeah, receiver.
Okay, I'm not familiar with him, but
from Alabama.
Oh well, there you go. 5-star. I'm sorry.
Oh, the Cardinals. My bad. The Cardinals. I forgot. I don't know why I forgot the Cardinals. But the Cardinals are good. The Cardinals are good. I mean, they just got beat by the Packers, but the Cardinals are still good too. So
yeah, that sucks for me.
Everyone's looking at the Cowboys like, it's something also in me. I just love the Cowboys getting built up and just
what
wait.
Happened with Prescott? He didn't play this, correct?
He got injured.
Yeah, ankle or something. Something happened.
The NFC East is going to come down to week 17 or week 18, just like it always does. The Giants are going to be creeping up, and somehow they're going to be in contention with what the whole division will be in contention. One will make it by week 16, something like that, and you'll have another one trying to squeak in or something like that. The East is always fucked up, so we'll see what happens. But I had to laugh.
Rodgers is COVID positive. What is this immunity thing?
That's what I was trying to say. So in August, when he was interviewed by the press, they asked him if he took the vaccine. He said, I'm immunized. That was his phrasing. So now per Schefter or, Adam Schefter or whatever, he's saying that he is not vaccinated, that he's following the protocol and been following the protocol for unvaccinated players the entire time. And so why would he even fucking say that in August when he obviously got COVID right now and he's not vaccinated? He's been following the protocol for non-vaccinated players. Why even lie? I don't get that. The people who say, oh, it's my privacy. Okay, maybe. But, it's just the whole situation. He seems like a smart guy. He wanted to be Jeopardy host, and this motherfucker can't get, we all have our own opinions, but you're protecting others. You're playing close with 32, however many guys you play with, on the sidelines with coaches, and this shit's going to happen. You got to realize that. So why would you even say you're immunized three months ago and you get COVID now?
Because he's probably just another one of these dummies that freaking another Kyrie dumbass. I just can't, I totally understand the thing about, athletes and their bodies and what they put in their bodies, but it's either you follow the testing, really do the test, or you get vaccinated. And to me, it's like if you're a famous person, you're around so many people, so many trainers, so many things. Like it just defies logic to me why people would be so hesitant to take this vaccine. I think, just people just believing misinformation out there. And like I said, I'm totally for people being like, hey, I don't want to take this. But then I'm like, then deal with the consequences. It's like, you know what? Then don't play. Like, I'm fine with Kyrie Irving saying, like, I'm just not going to play basketball if you're going to force me to. It's like, okay, but I don't want to hear you on the sideline say, oh, well, it's my right, or you're denying me. No, you're denying yourself to play. You're in a highly contagious areas around hundreds. And that's why so many famous people get COVID, because you're around so many people. Like, it's impossible for you to make money and just stay at home or, distance yourself all the time. And I just think it's another case of just nonsense. And again, this is, what's crazy? I thought about this. I was saying this might be a better way to explain to people. Like, the NFL is a good way, especially to explain to some of these, anti-vax, very, conspiracy theory kind of things. It's like, okay, everyone likes football, right? No matter where you land on the political spectrum, whatever, everyone in general is a football fan in America. The top rated programs are always the football programs now, or on the regular network. I tell people, the NFL came out and said, you know what? If your team misses games because of COVID, you forfeit. There's not going to be any makeups, not going to be any other thing. Like, if your whole team gets COVID, yeah, that's it. You're forfeiting the game, and we're going to give the win to the other team, and that's it. And what I was trying to explain to guys on the boat is like, do you understand the people who make lots and lots of money, billions of dollars in television, stadium rights and stuff? They're looking at this. And these people, if they really thought that this vaccine was going to be like super dangerous or hurt them, or, if they had their players like an Aaron Rodgers or a Brady or whatever taking this, and they really thought that it was going to have adverse effects, they would not put this in place. They're basically looking at this as like a money issue, and like, you're not going to fuck with our money, because to them, it's like, okay, we've talked to our doctors, we talked to this. People with this much money on the line, they don't make these decisions haphazardly. They look at all the science and like, oh, having the vaccine makes it safe, which making it safe makes it so you can play football, which making football makes us a lot of money, and you're not going to fuck up our money. And I just want to tell people, like, you understand why the NFL has all this COVID protocol on it, because you're fucking with their money. And to them, it's like, they look at it, and I'm telling, because the worst thing would happen, well, let's say, this vaccine wasn't safe and then people were taking it, or you had tons of professional athletes taking the vaccine and having adverse reactions. Well, that sucks, because one, you're going to stop play anyway. But two, it's showing that, it's just not safe. And, there's no bigger, I guess, stage or event that you have than football in America. It's like literally the only thing that they've tested, that both left, right, north, south, east, west, everyone loves football. And the NFL is telling you, like, no, guys, get the vaccine, because you're going to fuck with the money. And for someone like Aaron Rodgers not to understand that, man, it's just crazy to me. But, to each their own. If it was me, I'd be like, hey, man, okay. If you don't want to take it, fine, but don't if you're not getting this game check either. That's how I'd be like. Either
I know he can't play. I know they were saying he couldn't play at Madison Square Garden. Is he out completely, or is he playing with the team when they're in other?
No, there was some speculation that the team, because it wasn't an NBA or Brooklyn Nets mandate. The state of New York says if you work indoors in a certain amount of people, then you have to be vaccinated. That's a New York state regulation, that workers who work inside with it's a low number, but over a certain amount of workers, you have to be vaccinated. And at first they were going to make concessions where maybe he was only going to play road games, but then eventually the team they came to their senses, like, no, forget it. He's like, if you're not here, then you're not here. Just don't do it. Then they don't have, that's a New York state law, that the Brooklyn Nets have to be like, we have to comply with state law. This is where we play. And having the guy for half the time just does not seem like, something you can have a guy in and out, and you have back-to-backs. And how could you have any team cohesion doing that kind of stuff? it's just very weird to me, especially because a lot of these guys, they've gone on tours and they've gone on trips or whatever out of the country where they know that vaccines are mandated. Like in order to go to some of these, these events and some of these promotional things they do, they have to be vaccinated. But it's just this vaccine just has people just, in their feelings about it or whatever. So I don't know. I have no sympathy for it. Like I said, the NFL basically is like, you have to be in COVID protocols. Like if too many people on your team is COVID, you can't play. You forfeit. There's not going to be rescheduling, which I agree with. It's like there has to be you have to put your foot down for science at some point, So
they rescheduled that Steelers-Ravens game like 3 times last December. It was supposed to be at the end of November. They put it on a Wednesday afternoon last December because they were trying to placate the Ravens so they would be able to play with Lamar, and they still couldn't. So it was a whole shit show. So yeah, it's just a mess, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, week 9, that leaves 9 weeks. I don't even know how to do math anymore.
Including this one, 10 weeks.
Okay. So Jeremy and I, since Saint's not in the fantasy league, Jeremy and I are battling for the top spot right now. He's got it, but
all right,
that's great.
There you go, Jeremy.
He beat me by
quarterback in the league.
2 points. 2 points.
I have Brady, Wentz, and I think I have who's Cleveland. I have those 3.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brady's off bye week, so Baker's playing this week. But
I don't know.
The other guy
might not
Aaron
want
Rodgers. So oops.
Yeah, I got Kyler Murray, and I got what's his name, Josh Allen, and I had Jameis, and now he's done. So
my wife has Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, which was
not
awesome for like 1 week.
Yes,
and not that much after that.
right.
That's a fun league we're in.
Man,
all right,
bad team.
Yeah, we're gonna kick him out next season.
That one division doesn't have a single winning record. I'm just saying,
bro. Like half of them are people and they're not playing. What the fuck?
There's nothing I can do about it.
I have like Jeremy's electrician and his wife playing in the league, and like they are not great. The wife is not participating at all. She is not changing her lineup at all.
Yeah,
I probably won't.
I didn't want to get into it and be that guy that, does it. And I'm telling you, the only thing is like, if I'm playing, I want to play to win. But that individual defensive player is like, I was on the boat and I was like, I just don't have enough time to do research on individual research. Oh man. No.
It's not really research, man. You plug and play with those IDPs unless you have like a stud. Like I remember one season I had, what was the name? Vander Esch or whatever. He was like supposed to be like an amazing player that season. So I drafted him really high, like above some offensive players. And he did all right. You know what I mean? But for like the DTs and like the DL, man, I just take whoever's available. It's pretty.
Back in the day, Mike used to give as many points for return yards as he did for receiving or rushing. So if you could get a defensive player that returned kicks, you were set. That motherfucker would score so many points. Because you get like a point for a tackle, but the guy would get 20 points because he ran it back 20 yards. It's like,
right.
What the hell?
The point system is pretty set right now, right? You like it now? It's all right.
It's all right. The first downs are they got me. I wasn't sure. I didn't know about that at first, but that's fine.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
They get a point for getting a first down.
There's so many rules too. Jesus.
Yeah.
I just give points out for anything. And taking away points for shit too. Like, geez, God damn. Keep the rules nice and simple. That way you
makes it interesting. My league is very unique.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
All right. I'm going to wrap up the show because I want to get to bed by 1 a.m. But anything else you guys want to touch on before we go to bed? We'll save it for next week.
No,
I'm good.
Jeremy, you need to let us know when you're available next week so we can schedule this interview. Like I said, I don't want to reveal too much, but I think
sometime between Tuesday and Friday.
That's a little more specific, motherfucker. Put it on the calendar.
I get off Tuesday morning and I leave town on Saturday, so Tuesday to Friday.
Oh, so you're saying you're available anytime that day?
Yeah.
That during that period. Okay, we'll figure that out. Yeah, so I got a possible model entrepreneur who may or may not have an OnlyFans, who may want to be interested in coming on and promoting herself. But hey, it's good to talk to people and figure out that, like, what led them to that decision, like how it has affected them, that kind of stuff. So I think it'd be a pretty interesting conversation. You know what I mean? Still trying to get anyone else, Jeremy, get another cop if you want. I don't care. That guy was cool.
Guy had some interesting story. He had a great story off after we stopped recording.
I don't know if we should have left that one. I don't know. Probably best we didn't.
We didn't. I think we had stopped recording already.
Oh, we did. I don't think we should. Yeah, we definitely needed to not air that one. I think, from what I remember. All right. So, well, thanks for listening to The Usual Saints. As usual, follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, The Usual Saints. We have our website, theusualsaints.com. You can hit us up, usualsaints@gmail.com. I forget the phone number. It's been so long. I forgot the damn phone number, but it's on the website as well. If you want to call and leave voicemail or whatnot. Yeah, I know. So I know it's a Washington, D.C. phone number. That's all I remember. All right. So for Saint and Jeremy and Vinny, R.I.P. Mike D.
R.I.P.
Thanks for listening to Usual Saints.
Peace.
R.I.P. Vinny.
Remember when anybody got shot in that shooting in Atlanta because he wouldn't respond for days?
How do I say goodbye?
In memorial for Vinny.
We had the good times.
Get taken off.
Is this copyright infringement?
Yeah.